I'm just kidding. It'll be pretty quick. It'll be more like 30 minutes. And then you're off to your weekend. But I am glad that you're here. But here's what I want you to understand is that if you have any distractions right now, if you're not fully all in focus right now, maybe you're around the family or the kids or the TV or whatever's happening, I want to tell you that this is worth your attention. So I hope that you're focused. You got a notepad somewhere around you. You're taking notes, because this information that I'm going to cover with you here today changed my family's life forever. And I believe for the right people, it can do the same. And so I hope that you go get something to write with if you don't have one, or go ahead and get focused, or go separate yourself if you're around a bunch of people, so that you can be here with us and learn a little bit about our company. So the name of our company is Global Financial Impact. And I just love the name of our company because it really has a lot to do with what our vision is, what we want to accomplish as a company, which is to make a global impact, all over the world, right? Financially. What we're all about is, our vision, and kind of, what we represent as a company. Our dream as a company is to inspire families to dream again. And I don't know about you, but, as you get older, people stop dreaming. And I know when we were kids, we used to think very, very big. I don't know if I'm the only one. I had really, really big goals. I thought really, really big when I was a kid. But as I got older, life kind of happens, right? And as life happens, you stop dreaming. And there's a quote out there by Martin Luther King that says that most people die at age 18, but are not buried to age 65. And really what that means is that as we get older, we stop dreaming. We stop believing, because life just happens, and the kids happen, and the bills happen, and we're just kind of going with the flow. And one of the big visions of our company is to be able to inspire families to dream again, right? It doesn't matter where you are in your life. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter that you stopped dreaming a long time ago. We want to inspire you to go dream again. And that's what our company is really all about. And our mission is to become the #1 inspirational marketing company in the world. And that's a big deal for us, because when we say inspirational, it means that we want to be able to help inspire people in all areas of their life. And although we're a financial company, and although we help people with their money and their finances, we want to be able to help people, and we want to help inspire people to grow in every single area of their life. And so we're talking about we have what we call the fulfillment formula, which the fulfillment formula is the 5 F's, which is faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. And we want to be able to help inspire people to grow in all areas of their life, not just their finance. And we believe that's a big, big deal. Now, as far as our backing and as far as the vision of where we're going as a company, and Mel kind of mentioned this a little bit, our vision is to help 100 million families, to achieve financial independence. And I want you to imagine that right there. Can you imagine if 100 million families were financially educated, what that would do to our country, what that would do to our world? We want to help more people become millionaires than any other company ever in the world. Not just the financial industry, which we're going to talk about the actual industry itself, but more, we want to help produce the most millionaires out of any company. And we want to become the largest financial leadership movement in the entire industry. And so that's our vision. That's where we're going. And that's what we're a part of here. So our core values is what we represent, what we're all about. We're very big as a company in strength and character. And we believe that, always doing the right thing for people. We're very big in respect and transparency. And we're big on loyalty, growth, and brotherhood and sisterhood. And we really believe in leadership by example. We believe in do-it-first leadership. We don't tell our people to do things that we're not doing. And so we really believe in leading by example. And that's what we are all about as a company. And I think that's a big deal. Anytime you're going to be affiliated or do business with a company, I think we believe it's important for you to understand the core values of the company and why they even exist. And so now, as far as our credibility, so where do we come from, right? And what's our backing like? A lot of people ask this question, and we have one of the best backings ever in the financial service industry. We're actually in partnership with a company called Ethos. And not sure if you heard of Ethos, but Ethos is a large technology company worth billions of dollars, who's actually backed by the largest venture capital firm in the world, a company called Sequoia and SoftBank, which are worth combined almost $200 billion, like billions with a B. And so we're backed by very big companies with very big pockets, that actually represent and have our backs. Now, our founders have over 80 years of combined experience. So it's not, these are people who've been doing this for a long time, who've helped millions of families already, literally. And we're in partnership also with over 25 Fortune 500 and insurance companies dating back to 1848. And we're talking about companies that have been around to close to 200 years. We're in partnership and business with them. But here's the biggest thing for me about our company. Our company actually leads the industry in persistency. We lead the industry in client retention. And the reason that's a big deal is because what that really means is that our clients, when they do business with us, they stay our clients long term, right? They stay our clients for 10, 20, 30 years for their entire lives. And so we have the leading retention, we have the leading persistency and retention in the industry. And it's because, again, we focus on always doing the right thing for our clients. And we believe that that's important. That's a big deal. And lastly, we're licensed in all 50 states, Puerto Rico, Canada, Virgin Islands, and we're all over all the different states and all over the country, but we're also in other countries. We're actually global. And so we're currently in 33 other countries that we're able to help families financially. So our vision is not just to make an impact here in the United States or just Canada, but we want to be able to make an impact all over the world, because we believe everybody deserves to be financially educated. And so we want to be able to help people all over. Doesn't matter where they come from or their background. There's a lot of people, especially we have a lot of reps and agents in our company who are passionate about going back to their countries and helping people in their communities and their countries. And that's what it's all about. It's not just, hey, let's go out and make money here and help our community that way. But what if we can bring the education and the knowledge and the things we're able to learn to these other countries as well? So we're very big on helping the world. And that's what we're all about. Now, we have what we call strength in selection. So we are a broker. And this is what you really want to know, is that we're a broker in the financial industry. And being a broker, what that means is that we're in business with many different financial institutions and insurance companies. And we always, when we're sitting down with families, our goal is to help people find out where they are, figure out where they're going, and create a roadmap, right, to teach them how to get there, and find the best companies that has the solutions to help them out. So here are some examples of some of those companies that we're in business with. I'm sure you probably heard a few of these before. Maybe you heard of Prudential before, or maybe you heard of Athene or Lincoln or Symetra or Mutual of Omaha. These are just some examples of the companies that we're in business with. But again, it's so many others that we're able to work with. And this is a big deal. The reason being a broker is a big deal is because it allows us to really focus on educating families and then find the best companies that has the solutions to help them out. See, most people, when they're trying to get financial help, they either are going to their uncle, right? Their broke uncle, or they're going to, let's say, a bank. And let's just say you bank with Bank of America, and let's say you were looking for the best retirement plan in the marketplace right now, as an example. And let's say they had it at JP Morgan Chase. Will the Bank of America rep, or the JP Morgan, will the Merrill Lynch rep send you to JP Morgan at Chase? No, they're not going to do that. They're going to say, we have the best thing. And so this is the importance of working with a broker, because our job is literally to go around and find the best options for our clients. Okay. Now, what we're going to do here real quick is we're going to go into some education real fast. So not only are you learning about our company, but we're an education company. We believe in educating families financially. And I want to make sure that you leave here being more financially educated than you came in. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go over some concepts that we believe everybody should know about money. And just learning these 3 basic concepts here, guys, you'll be more educated than most people that you probably know. financially. And so that's a big deal. But here's the deal. Knowledge is only power when applied. So as I'm going through this education real brief, I want you to be thinking, how can I benefit from this, right? And so how can I apply some of these concepts in my life? And so the first thing is, if you want to know about, if you played any game, right, or maybe you played any sports like me growing up, I played sports, in any sport, there's rules. And, if you don't know the rules to the game, it'll be very difficult for you to win the game. And so here we have what we call the 3 rules of money. And most people don't know the rules to the money game. And this is why most people don't succeed the money game. So the first rule of money is understanding what they call compound interest, right? And maybe you've heard of compound interest before, but compound interest, there's a rule called the rule of 72 that explains how compound interest works. And pretty much what the rule says is that if you take the number 72 and you divide it by any interest, that tells you how long it'll take for you to double your money. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you were getting 1% in the banks, right? Because most people, where do they save the money? In the bank. So you take 72, you divide it by 1. That means it's going to take 72 years for you to double your money. So if you're 29 years old, I want you to imagine you're 29, you got $10,000. And let's say you're like, I want to double my money. Well, if you leave it in the bank getting 1% or less, it's going to take 72 years. That means by the time that you're 101, you finally doubled your money. Is that exciting or what? No, not that exciting. And so, but here's the sad thing. This is what most people are doing with their money right here. And then what if you were getting 12%? You take 72, you divide it by 12. Now your money's going to double every 6 years. So if your money's doubling every 6 years, that 10,000 now turns into 640,000 by the time you retire. At 71, it's over $1 million, right? Because it doubled every 6 years. So let me ask you this question. Would you rather get 1% on your money, or would you rather get 12% on your money? Obviously 12%. But here's the deal. Most people have no idea where to go get 12% return on their money. Well, that's what we teach people when we sit down with them. Because when you save money in the bank, your money's not really there. They're taking that money and they're investing it, right? And the average bank is making 12% or more on your money, but then they turn around and give you less than 1%. So what do you need to do? We can't get mad at the banks. We just got to learn what the banks do with our money and go do the same. And that's what we teach people. All right, second rule of money is you got to now understand that there's only 3 ways that money actually grows. This is the protection phase. There's only 3 ways you can grow your money. This is why I believe, and I tell people finances is, money is not that difficult, learning about money. And it's because there's really 3 main vehicles, right? That you can place or park your money. The first one is what we call the fixed account. The fixed account is what most people already are doing, right? They save it in the bank, savings account, maybe a CD, where they're going to give you a guaranteed fixed interest rate. It's never going to change. It's just the same. And the problem with fixed accounts is that most fixed accounts are not outpacing inflation. So the only downside with this is that if the cost of living is going up every year, 5%, 6%, like 9% last year, but your money is only growing 1% in a fixed account, your money is losing value. We say you're safely going broke in fixed accounts. And so then what do people do? They get a little smarter. They're like, all right, I got to stop saving all my money in the bank because obviously it's not doing anything for me. So what do people do? They start putting money in variable accounts. And variable accounts is really anything that's attached to the market, right? Because when you have a variable account and the market goes up, you get to go up with the market, right? And then when the market goes down, what happens to your money? Your money goes down, right? So it's kind of up and down. What are some variable accounts? This could be like your 401k at your job, 403b, TSP, IRAs, mutual funds, stocks. All these accounts are considered variable because when the market is up, you're up, but when the market is down, right, you can lose money. And then the last thing is we have index accounts. And a lot of people are not too familiar with index accounts, but an index account is a reflection of how the market is performing, but not an investment in the market. So when you have an index account and the market goes up, you get to participate in the gains of the market. But when the market goes down, they actually lock you in as something called a floor, and you never lose any money. And when the market goes back up, you're back up. You're excited, right? But when the market goes down, boom, you're locked in. You're still excited because you're not losing any money, right? So you get the upside of the market, but none of the downside of the market. Well, here's the deal. Our job is to educate people on all the options because most people don't even know that that option exists. All people know, you know what all people do? Most people, all they do is save money in the bank. And if they do have an investment, it's usually a 401k at their job, right? And so if you have to choose, I need you to ask yourself, how would you rather grow your money? Would you rather keep it in a fixed? Do you want to put in a variable? Or would you rather get an index? And here's the last rule of money, we're done, is how does money get taxed? How does money get taxed? Because one thing is, hey, let's save money for retirement. Let's save money for the future. But if we don't plan the taxes, right, there could be an issue. So there's three ways you can pay taxes. You can pay taxes now, you can pay taxes later, or you can pay taxes never, right? Or what we call tax advantage. Tax now means you're going to pay it at the end of the year. That's what tax now means. So brokerage accounts, savings accounts, high yield savings accounts, mutual funds, you know, bank CDs. Like if you gain enough interest rate, you'll get a 1099, and then you got to go pay taxes on that money. You'll usually pay that at the end of the year. That's what we call tax now. That's how you pay the IRS, right? And then you have tax later. And this is what most people do. They defer the taxes. That's what tax later means, that you're deferring it for the future. So like when you retire, you're going to defer it for the future when you retire, and then you'll pay the taxes later. And this is most 401ks and 403bs and IRAs and SEP IRAs, annuities, and all these accounts. Most of these accounts are deferred. So what you're saying is, whatever tax rates go up later, I'll just pay whatever they are later. But here's the deal. Do you guys think taxes are going to go down in the future, or do you think taxes are going to go up in the future? What do you think? Most likely they're going to go up. Well, how do we know that? Well, our country is only like $30 trillion in debt, right? And so there's a high chance taxes will continue to go up. So everybody who's deferring their taxes right now, what they're saying is, hey, I'll pay them at whatever they are later. Can you imagine those capital gains go from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50%, and then you retire, and when you actually need the money the most, you still got to pay Uncle Sam. You still got to pay your taxes, although you've been paying taxes your entire life. Doesn't make any sense. And then this is why we teach also about having tax advantages, right? Which is a fancy word for tax-free. And with tax advantages, you have executive bonus, you got cash value insurance, you got municipal bonds and Roth IRAs. These are just some examples of building wealth, things that you can use to be able to build wealth tax-free. And we're very big in teaching people how to do that. And so if you had to choose, how would you rather pay the taxes? Now, later, or never? All right, awesome. Well, hey, guys, that was all the education. Hopefully you learned something new there in those three concepts. We're going to just move here into our client service menu. So when we sit down with families, it's important for you to know that our goal is, like I said earlier, is to educate families financially. We have so many different ways that we're able to help families. And through our client service menu, it kind of gives you some examples of what that looks like. So first thing is we have tax advantage wealth accumulation strategies. We're big, like I mentioned, in teaching people how to build a tax-free retirement, tax-free life, right? To build wealth tax-free. Because what's that one thing wealthy people don't like to pay? That's right, taxes. And so you got to learn these strategies that exist, and most people don't even know the options they have. So we're big in helping people do that. Also, we help people with asset protection and qualified plan rollovers. What is that? Well, millions and millions of Americans who either leave their jobs or get fired every single year, and they leave all this money sitting in these old retirement plans and these old 401ks or 403bs, and they don't know that you're able to roll it over into something that has guarantees, something that has, great potential return, that has no fees, and that's a big deal. Because when you leave this money in these old accounts, not only are you leaving it there with market exposure, which means that you can potentially be losing money, but you're also leaving in there and getting all the fees from these old retirement plans from this retirement plan that you were in. And so it's a big deal for you to pull it out so they can stop charging you fees and you can get guarantees on that money. And so we help people with that. Then we help people with college education funds. For those parents that, just really, really care about doing something for their kids and want to save for their kids' future. We have options for that. We help with debt management, and we help consolidate debt. We have great programs and companies we're in business with to help our clients get rid of debt as soon as possible and consolidate and hopefully lower those interest rates and things like that. And then we help with infinite banking and family banking. Maybe you heard of this concept before. This is a concept that just kind of educates you on some of the banking systems, on how a lot of wealthy families have created their own banking system, right? Because wealthy people don't keep all their money in the bank. They have a banking system that they create for themselves, and we educate our clients to teach, and we teach them how they can create their own banking system. And it doesn't take a lot of money for you to do that. And then we also help with life insurance. And this is a big one for me, like a huge one. And, the reason this is a big one is, because most people, unfortunately, there's a big majority of people out there who don't have any life insurance, who are not protected, and their families are not protected. And I don't believe that they don't care about their family. I don't think that's it. They, normally when people don't have life insurance, is one out of three reasons. Is either they're just been busy and they've never got around to setting it up, or maybe they believe it might be too expensive, which is not true. But this is just because they're not educated. And number three is that they just don't care about their family. But I'm a big believer that people are just not educated and they don't know. But here's the deal. Even the ones that do have life insurance, one of the things that really makes me passionate about this is that a lot of people who do have it, unfortunately, don't have the right type. Now, the good thing is that at least they're protecting their family. But here's the deal. Life insurance was never created to just be death insurance. It was never created for, hey, if you die, your family's going to get some money, which obviously that's the point. But it's also, what if you don't die? What if you get sick? What if you become disabled? What if you have a chronic condition or critical? And, millions of people out there, the ones that do have life insurance, most of them don't have living benefits. They don't know living benefits exist. They don't know that they can actually use their life insurance while they're alive if they have living benefits. And it kind of pisses me off a little bit to know that, because I've come across families that I've helped, even personal families of mine. I had a client of mine that reached out to me, and it was one of my clients, and it was a guy, it was a gentleman, and he says, hey, Sid, my mom got a policy with this company. I'm not going to say their name, but and in this, my mom just got stage 4 cancer, and they said that she has about 12 months to live, and then he goes, I know my policy that you helped me set up has living benefits. Can you check if my mom's policy has living benefits? And I said, well, how long have your mom had this policy? And he's like, she's had it for over 20 years. And then after I reviewed the policy for him, we come to look at the policy, and the policy had no living benefits. It was a life insurance. It was what we call the old traditional life insurance that doesn't have living benefits. And it pisses me off because so millions of people, they have life insurance, but they have the wrong type. And living benefits is a way that if you have living benefits, and it doesn't even cost people additional to have it, and so many don't, but it's a way that if something happens to you, if you don't die, your family can get hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal for us. So we're very big in making sure we do upgrades for people from their policies. We also help with estate planning, setting up wills and trust, and making sure if you're going to build a legacy, you want to pass it on the right way so the government don't step in and take their portion of it, right? Because there's a lot of taxes we pay as in this country, right? From so many different taxes, but they say the most expensive tax, they call it death tax. And it's if you plan on build wealth, if you plan on leaving something for your family, the government can step in and tax literally your entire estate, your wealth. And so you literally have to pay taxes to die in America if you're trying to build wealth. Then we help with indexing options and Roth options and SEP IRAs. We also help business owners. So many business owners out there, they're just not educated on the options that they have on, to be able to get different tax write-offs. And we have different ways that we help business owners get different write-offs to help not only to retain more money in their pocket and also write it off at the same time. And we also help with final expense. And final expense is really for those families that maybe they didn't get to plan throughout their life, maybe, or maybe they tried, but then their policies expired, and maybe they don't have the means to, they don't have any, they don't want to leave a burden to their family, and now they're older. And so final expense is a way that they can protect themselves and their funeral and medical bills, just in case when the day comes, they're not leaving that to their family. And that's kind of what Final Expense. So we have so many different ways we're able to help people here. This is our client service menu. And if I show this to 100 people, how many people you think can benefit from at least one of these things, right? Everybody, at least one. And so this is a big, big deal. Now, I'm going to transition here, and we're going to talk a little bit about our company now. So that's who we are and what we do. Now let's talk about a little bit about why we exist and where we're going as a company, why you're here. And what I want you to know is that the financial service industry is the largest industry in the world. And I love sharing this because, you know, one thing is, you guys know we're helping people, but when we start talking about compensation and about how we get paid, a lot of times people are mind blown on how we get paid in this industry. But it's because it is the highest paid industry in the world. It is the largest industry in the world. It's $109 trillion a year industry. And here's why. Well, financial services, you can put real estate, you can put retail combined and multiple times too, and it's still not as the financial industry. Why? Because every other industry doesn't exist without financial services. All the other industries can't even exist without money. Does that make sense? That's why the financial industry is the largest industry in the world. But here's the deal, guys. The current way of doing things is not working. And this is why we're really here. It's the mission of our company, is why we're focused on helping 100 million families. The current way of doing things is not working. And you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you can look at your parents or grandparents or great-grandparents, some of you, and like mine's, right? Who, you know, I remember when my grandmother died, and, you know, everybody had to figure it out, right? Put money in, and there wasn't what behind. And way of doing things has not been working. And when we look at some of the statistics in our country, 182,000 is the average retirement account balance for people ages 60 to 69. And why is that scary? Well, the average retiree runs out of money in 4 to 5 years during retirement. That's scary. And now they got to depend on Social Security. You ever heard of Social Security? Social Security? The average Social Security check is $1,300 in America. And you know why that's scary? Because 20 years ago, the average Social Security check was $1,300. So 20 years later, it's still the same. But a lot has happened in 20 years, right? Like the cost of living has went up, gas has went up, food has went up, all these things. And so and that's all people are depending on. And it's pretty scary. The future is kind of scary for those that don't plan. Then you have 40% of divorces are due to financial problems. 60% of Americans will be diagnosed with an illness at some point. 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 67% of Americans have never made a financial plan. And 68% of Americans say that they are not on track for retirement. There's a big problem in our country when it comes to financial, you know, we call it the financial crisis. So many people need our help, and that's why we exist. So not only are we the largest industry, but the demand for what we do has never been greater than right now. And it's a big, so we have a huge responsibility. But here's the deal. In business, timing is everything, right? They say you got to be in the right place at the right time with the right people doing the right things, but you need to be the right person. Where in business, timing is everything. And here you have, you know, when you're talking about business, I want you to imagine here for a second, if let's say that you wanted to be, they say that marketing experts say that if you want to run a successful business, right, if you want to blow up your business, all you have to do is you got to figure out where the baby boomers are, okay? And then you got to figure out where the baby boomers are going, and you got to throw yourself in the middle. So what does that even mean? Well, you know, back in 1946 to 1964, there were 78 million babies that were born. Now think about that. 78 million babies were born, right? After the Great War, the soldiers came back hot and ready, and boom, you got 78 million babies are born. Now, if you're trying to get into business, what type of business will you open if 78 million babies were born? That's right. Anything that has to do with baby food, right? Anything that has to do with baby food. So back in the early 1946, You had companies like Gerber. They went from selling like 3 million bottles a year to like 3 million bottles a day. I mean, they literally blew up because 78 million babies were born. And now what happens to these babies? They got a little bit older, right? And now when they got older, what do all kids want to play? I got 3 kids under 8, and and the stores don't make it any easier because they put all, that's how marketing works, right? They put all the toys at the lower shelves, right? So the kids can grab them. But what blew up after that? The toy industry blew up. The toy industry, companies like Patel and all these Toys R Us, these companies blew up at the time because you have 78 million babies trying to play with toys. And then the families, right? They had a bunch of families, right? Every woman that could have a kid had 3 kids on average. These families were big and they were hungry, right? Families were working. They needed fast food. So what blew up? The fast food industry blew up. And then what did McDonald's do? They were smart, right? They started pulling all the toys and the food and the Happy Meals, right? So boom, the fast food industry blew up. And then what happens after that? Then you have the car industry that blew up, right? Because you got these big families, they need big cars. The minivan, Chrysler invented the minivan, and Chrysler was literally about to go bankrupt until they created the minivan, and boom, they blew up as a company. Then what happens after that? The real estate industry blew up. Why? Because these families, they wanted to buy a home, right? So that industry, the real estate industry, blew up. But what are baby boomers doing now? What are baby boomers doing now? That's right. What industry are they going into now? Into the financial services industry, right? That's where they are now. And guess what? $68 trillion. They say it's the greatest wealth transfer ever in American history right now that's happening from the baby boomers. This wealth is all being transferred, right? And they say that by December 31st of 1930, the last baby boomer will turn 65. The last baby boomer will retire. And they all need our help. They all need our help because most of them are running out of money during retirement. Most of them, all they do is leave their money in the bank. And all these families need our help. So timing for what we do has never been greater as it is right now. Now, here's the deal. We have a hybrid business model. And what we did in our company is that we took we took 4 different models, 4 different industries, and we combined them together. This is what makes our company so special. We took the financial services industry, obviously highest paid industry, biggest industry in the world. We took the technology. We like to say that we're fintech company, but it's because we took the technology industry. We took the franchise model industry and the brokers and agents, kind of like real estate brokers and mortgage brokers, right? We put it together. And so they say that we say if you take inspirational marketing, you mix it with financial services, you add financial services, is the greatest movement ever in history, right? The greatest movement ever in history. So with that being said, there's 6 ways to get paid in our industry, guys. And here's the deal, because we're literally wrapping up in the next 2 minutes here. We're going to cover a little bit about compensation, but I think it's important for you to know is that, guys, we're not looking for everybody. And we do interviews. This is a very regulated industry. Yes, it's the highest paid, but it's also the most regulated industry in the world. Yes, people can make a lot of money here, right? But we're not looking for everybody. We're looking for the right type of people. And so there's 6 ways that most reps get paid. The first one is what we call personal income. It's when our agents are able to personally go out and help families themselves. You got agency income. Those are the people who qualify to be in leadership positions where they're able to benefit financially for being in leadership. Expansion income. There's no limits on where we can go. We're able to go all over the United States, Canada, Puerto Rico. Like I told you, all these different places all over the world. We're able to help people financially. There's bonuses income that we get, reoccurring income, residual income, one of my favorites, right? Because I don't know about you, but imagine doing the work once, but still being able to benefit and get paid forever, right? And so then in the financial industry, there's residual and there is reoccurring income, right? Or what they call passive income. So you do the work once, but you still get paid forever. So anyways, and then number 6, you have stock options and equity options, which is being able to, we believe that if you're helping our company grow, if you're helping GFI as a company grow, becoming the largest financial services company ever in history, Well, we believe in our reps should benefit from that, from ownership opportunities. And so there's stock options and equity options for those that could help us continue to build GFI. Now, here are some compensation examples, and we're done. So the average rep. So here's the deal. People have to get licensed in order to work in our company, okay? So one thing is getting licensed, and the other thing is becoming a professional. So what we do is that we help people get licensed, and then we train them to become professionals in what we do. So here's some examples of somebody who's licensed and is a professional and knows what they're doing. So the average agent, check this out, who helps a family personally. So you personally educate a family, help them financially. Average family that we help puts away about $500 a month into our products, okay? $500 a month. That could be between husband, wife, kids, accounts, whatever. 500 times 12 is 6,000 per year, right? That they're committing to. We get paid based on the annual commitment of our clients. So 6,000 times our contract level. The average associate, right? Associate is one of the starting positions within our firm, gets paid 45%, which is $2,700 when they help a family. So I want you to think about that. So they help a family. It takes about 45 minutes literally to help a family financially. You make $2,700 to help one family. So imagine 45 minutes. So you can do one a week. You could do one a week and you're making, over six figures if you're doing one a week at an associate level in our company, right? And then you have, for example, our senior directors, executive directors here who just talk, which is like senior, like leadership type roles. And so at an 80% contract, they're getting paid over $5,000 every time they help a family, one family. So that's a big deal. So here on the right side is going to just give you an example of somebody who's an executive marketing director, who's in leadership within our company, who's personally helping one family a week. As an executive marketing director, they're averaging about $265,000 per year. Okay. Now, if they're leading a team of 6 licensed reps, 6 licensed agents who each are helping one family a week, that agency owner is making over $748,000 per year. Combined income is over $1 million per year in income. Well, guess what, guys? There's hundreds and hundreds of people who have gotten into a position where they're making millions of dollars in our industry, literally hundreds. And so this is not something that is uncommon in our industry. We have tons of agency owners that make over $1 million in income. But here's the deal: it's not an easy thing to do. But we don't believe in limiting people. We believe in helping people grow. We believe in helping people get to the next level, whatever that is, whatever that means to them. So there's no limit, there's no cap in what our agents can do. This is what makes me really appreciate the company and what we do here. Because I don't know about you, but in most jobs, most positions, when most people are working at a corporate job, there's limits, right? They can only grow so much. And we don't believe in that. We believe in let's grow as much as we can. But if all you wanted to do was make an extra $3 to $4 grand a month part-time, that's fine too. But there is no limit to what we do. So here's the average cost. So when you look at the entire insurance and financial service industry, in the traditional industry, for someone who wants to open up a agency, right? They want to have their own agency. Companies like, State Farm and all, I can literally name a whole bunch, Allstate and all these other agencies. The average cost of actually having an agency in the insurance industry, it's about $100,000 to $250,000, depending on the location and things like that. Okay. Now, what's unique about us is that people are able to come on board with us if they qualify, of course, get certified, and we can help them build an agency. We can help them grow their agency. And the only thing really that they're financially responsible for is paying to get a background check done and their licensing, which comes out to $199. And so, which is kind of crazy for you to think about, right? Instead of paying $100,000 to have an agency or $200, all you do is get a background check, get a license, and the potential is way higher. The upside is way higher, which is pretty insane. Now, this is what makes GFI special. This is what makes GFI special when we're done. Number one is our ownership opportunity. Our agents have the opportunity to have real ownership in their business. So when our reps come on board with us, not only do they get ownership in the company as they continue to help GFI scale, but they're able to pass on their entire business to their families. One of the biggest concerns a lot of families have is like, some people, they go to school, they get a degree, they get a doctorate, but you can't pass a job to your children, right? You can only pass businesses to your children. So everything you're able to build within our company, you're able to pass it down to your family. And so that's a big deal. Number two is compensation, personal and builders. We have one of the highest personal and builders compensation in the entire financial services industry. We only work with A-rated product providers, companies. They have to be the best of the best for our clients. We believe in traveling the world. And so not only do we want to make big money, but we want to travel the world. We have a winning culture, a winning environment. We have a proven system where all you literally have to do is learn our system and you can be successful here. We have leaders that lead by example. We believe in leadership by example. We have the fulfillment formula, which we talked about earlier, the 5S: faith, family, finance, fitness, fun. We have charitable work and contribution. We believe in giving back. We believe in helping different communities all over the world. One of the with the GFI Foundation, one of the things that we do that is a big deal is that as you grow in our company and you build a foundation, or you have a foundation that you're passionate about helping, we have the opportunity that all the money you're raising for these different foundations, you're going to be able to get matched what you're able to raise, so it can double the impact that you make in these foundation or these charitable work, which is awesome. And then you have the agency owner technology platform, which is the best agency owner technology platform in the entire industry, where you're able to track every single metric, everything about running an agency within our company. So with that being said, where do you see yourself starting out? Where do you see yourself starting out? Maybe you're the person here and you're like, man, this information was awesome. I learned a lot, but I make way too much money. Well, hey, if that's you, I encourage you to go through the client experience with our company, right? You're able to go through a financial, we call it the PFR, personal financial review, and we're able to give you recommendations. There's no obligation. We don't even charge to do that. And usually after we educate people and we give recommendations, they just naturally want our help to help them. And but I encourage you to go through that client experience. If that's you, maybe you just make too much. I can guarantee that there's something that we offer, that we do, that we can possibly are able to help you with. Number two is the referral agent. Maybe you want to earn some income by just kind of referring clients after you obtain your license. We have a lot of people who work on a referral basis, where maybe they're just like, hey, I don't have a lot of time, but I do want to make more money. I really don't see myself sitting down or educating families, but I do want to make more money. Well, there's a referral option, right, where you're able to get certified and refer family, friends, and people you ever come in contact with, the people you know, and you're able to earn income for that. And I don't know about you, but I think an extra $2 to $3 grand a month in a referral program is pretty good, right? And then you have our revenue sharing program. And this is after obtaining a license, you share revenues by referring clients as a professional. So we partner up with a lot of accountants and law, and attorneys and real estate agents and all these different professionals who already have clients or families that they help in their fields. And we have a revenue sharing program for those professionals. Then we have our part-time option. That kind of like me. I started part-time and I wanted to help people part-time. So that's how I did it. I was working part-time, and I was once I started making more money here part-time than what I was doing full-time, that's actually when I transitioned and went full-time. And that's literally how most people do it, because it is a learning process. You do got to get certified. And yes, it's the highest paid industry in the world. Yes, it's very profitable, but this is not one of those things. This is not one of those things. You got to get licensed. You got to become a professional. And so because we understand that learning curve, what happens is that we have a lot of people who just kind of start on a part-time basis to make more money. And then guess what? You start making more money part-time than you do at your full-time. Then you can transition and go full-time. We have a lot of people, believe it or not, that are actually, they make more money part-time with us than they do at their full-time job being a teacher or being a nurse, but they really love that. And so they still work with us, although they're making more money with us. and they still work doing their professions as well. Then you have full-time. And so in GFI, you can go full-time in this career, into this industry. We work remote. It's all flexible. You create your own schedule. It's unlimited income potential. So you literally decide what you get paid based on the work that you put in. If you don't work, you don't get paid. But if you're somebody who you're just tired of working hard and it's not really, changing your income much, well, here you work hard, you're going to get paid very, very well. Okay. And then lastly, we have agency owner. And those are those people who qualify to run an agency with our company, right? To be in leadership, to be able to, they want to be able to lead others and help, right? And we really, really encourage people who want to be in agency owner positions within our company, because that's how we double the impact we make. Because more agency owners that we have, that means more families that we're able to go help. Does that make sense? And so that's a little bit about where do you a little bit of the options that you may have here with our company. With that being said, guys, appreciate you being here today, here with GFI. And, reach out to the person that invited you to come learn about the company. And they can help you set up an interview to learn more about what's next. What are the next options that you have in order to partner with our company? Again, we're not looking for everybody, but we are looking for the right people. So we do these interviews. We ask you specific questions to see if you're a good fit or not for us. And the same way, I'm sure you'll have questions for us. So anyways, guys, you have a great, great rest of your day and have a great weekend. And I hope to see you soon. Take care.